Okay, it's Andre Abrams.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Abrams. I'm going to rename you and then place you back into the waiting room until we start, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Waiting for everyone to connect to audio. Good morning. This is Judge VORST, just waiting for everyone to connect to audio. We are here for civil traffic. Please be advised that we are being recorded for audio and video. I'm going to give you some information as to how traffic court will proceed. You are being muted, and I'll explain how to unmute yourself in just a moment. We are here for civil traffic. The cases that are set for this hour are set for an evidentiary hearing or a mandatory hearing. An evidentiary hearing is where the court takes testimony from the officer and any witnesses and the person that has been cited. At the end, the court would determine whether the person being cited is guilty or not guilty. We would then go to sentencing if the person is found guilty. Sentencing is where the court reviews the driving record and decides how the case will be disposed of. Though that process for an evidentiary hearing takes a long time. So, if you are here for a full evidentiary hearing and you want to keep your not guilty plea, I'm going to need you to move to the end of the docket. And I'll tell you, please understand the reason I'm doing that is because there are other people who want to change their plea to no contest. They may want to do that because they don't want a full evidentiary hearing. They just want to ask me for a waiver of points, or something I call a withhold of adjudication. If you want to change your plea to no contest, meaning I don't admit, I don't deny, but I don't want a full evidentiary hearing, message me in the chat. Actually, message the group, don't just message me. Message in the chat, I want to change my plea. If you do that, I will take your case earlier in the docket and you won't have to wait. As you're starting to see, we have at least 50 cases that are set at this hour, so we're going to be here for a little while. And I want to thank you.
A lot of people have
Thank you for your patience as we move forward. For the officers, if you have a dismissal, please message in the chat because I will take those dismissals as well. So with that, we'll go ahead and begin. And I'll thank you for your patience. If you do have questions, please ask me. I'm happy to answer those questions. If you change your plea to the no contest, we go right to sentencing, where the court looks at your driving record and then decides how I will dispose of the citation. If you're just looking for a waiver of points or to go to traffic school, or you're looking for community service, you can change your plea to no contest. You don't need a full evidentiary hearing. If you go to a full hearing and you're found guilty and we go to sentencing, you risk the court hearing something in your hearing that I can take into account in sentencing. If you want to change your plea to no contest, you can offer what we call mitigation and offer an explanation, but then we would go right to sentencing. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to call the cases where folks are represented by an attorney. The reason I call those cases first is so that you can see how traffic court proceeds. That way you can understand how the process works. It's the same process on every case. I'll confirm your name, and then I'll confirm what the citation is. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Give me a moment. All right. Do I have Deputy Robinson on Joseph Weber? 2086. Deputy Lever.
Deputy Lever, present, your ma'am. Your Honor.
Thank you. Do I have Andre Adams?
Abrams, yes you do. Yes, ma'am.
Abrams, okay. Mr. Abrams, you were cited for failing to use a sidewalk. The fine, if you're found guilty, is $57.50. Do you pled not guilty? Do you want a full hearing?
Yes, I do. Yes, ma'am. And I'd like to have representation.
Okay. So you're asking for a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
So in these cases, these are civil citations. They are not criminal in nature. So the court cannot appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Okay, may I read something to you, please, that I prepared, if you don't mind, ma'am?
Not yet, no, because if you want a full hearing, we've got to go in
It's
order.
about why I need a lawyer.
Has to go first because they have to prove the case
It's about
before I
why
can
I
even
need
get
a
to.
Yes, ma'am. And it's about why I need a lawyer.
Okay, I can't appoint one for you. That decision can't change. You're not
What if I'm
The
disabled?
law does not require the court to appoint a lawyer to represent you. So
Okay.
if you would like the case to continue so that you can try to contact a lawyer, I'm happy to do that.
What if
But I can't appoint a lawyer to represent you.
I'm disabled?
Okay, I am disabled. It's why I'm asking for representation.
I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Abrams, but again, I have no
Okay, well,
ability to appoint a lawyer to represent you. I can continue your case so you can contact legal aid, like through Rivers Legal Services, but
Read that to
in
her.
a civil citation, there's nothing that allows the court to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
okay, because I have an open case in Superior Court here right now. And Judge KRIEDER has found me not able to stand trial without representation.
Okay? If you're saying Judge KRIEDER's name, that means you have a criminal case.
Right.
It's a criminal case.
And they've already found me not competent to stand trial without representation.
This is a civil citation.
Okay.
Abrams, that doesn't
Well-
change. So if you want to continue the case to talk to legal aid, I'm happy to do that. But this is a civil
Yes,
citation.
ma'am. We'll continue the case.
Okay. Madam Clerk, what's the next court date? That would be September 5th at 10:30, Your Honor. Okay. So Mr. Abrams will continue to September 5th at 10:30. And
Yes.
that's for you to try to obtain representation.
Yes, ma'am.
If you think the case will proceed at that time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Mr. Abrams.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Deputy Lever, do you have any other cases?
No, ma'am, I do not. May I be?
Yes. Have a great day. Thank you.
And you as well, Your Honor.
Caleb Buchanan, 24 TR1.
Okay. Hey, I'll do it by myself.
Yeah.
I'll do this by myself. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it by myself.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna write them. I'll write the. Here, let me cut this off. Now this is all about the ASO writing Deputy Lieber. He was president. He's getting paid for this. He wrote Andre a ticket while he was caught watching, and we got all the documentation about that. So we're ready to stand with that.